What's up, everyone? I know this video is going to be late, and I'm going to try to put this up tonight. It's very late, and it's dark out and everything like that, and I don't usually record vlogs late in the day like that, like this, and I usually put them up during the day, but I actually found out that the Tokyo Gameshow was starting out today, and it was Sony's keynote presentation for Sony's Tokyo Gameshow keynote, pretty much, and what I have here is like a list of notes. Is I just finished watching the stream for the keynote, but I'm guessing, I don't know if it's a part 2. I think it is a part 2, but from the looks of it, because I was watching the IGN stream, live stream, and it's gonna be the Deep Down, which is the newest Capcom exclusive announced for a PS4 exclusive RPG announced for the PS4 that's gonna be coming, and I'm interested in checking that out. So I'm gonna try to get this video recorded before the next stream starts in a little bit, and I think it starts for like 20 minutes now or something, so hopefully it won't take me too long as I go through this, because I don't really have much to talk about. Well, what I have here is just I'm just going to talk about what they showed and everything like that, and just give my little reactions and everything, because they didn't really show too much, but I just feel like they were just trying to show some of the features of the PS4, and it was barely any kind of gaming. So but before I get started, I also want to say that I'll be covering Tokyo Gameshow for this year's 2013 Tokyo Gameshow of 2013 on my videos this week. So I'll still be planning on uploading videos, so like playthroughs and everything like that, and continuing those videos. But I'll just be keeping an eye out for like the newest news and the latest news regarding Tokyo Gameshow for this year, in regards to Sony, Microsoft, and maybe possibly Nintendo, if they do something, if they decide to actually come up with any sort of like big updates or any sort of big news or anything, or whatever they decide to do. So here we go. First, they had English translators, so the stream was actually in Japanese, so they had like different people talking on the stream just to translate the Japanese language into English. So they were actually switching between the people, like different people were actually talking through the stream and the English language just to translate. So what was actually announced, first thing I have here is that you can access games from any time from your mobile devices. So later on I'll get into that from like the PlayStation app that they showed, which is something I really liked and I didn't know too much about, but that was my little personal favorite. I really like the PlayStation app, but I'll talk more about that, about what that can do later on. So also they also mentioned that they talked about the share experience, which is going to be the new element for the PS4, for the new kind of the new generation of consoles. My phone was going off there in a second. I was trying to make sure that we didn't go off for a second, so I remember I put it on silent, so it shouldn't be much of a bother in this video. So also next we have the PS Vita TV, which was recently announced. I didn't pay too much attention to it, but I guess it's not that much of a big news, but they just talked about it a little bit during the stream. You can, for PS Vita TV, you can receive video service, and it's, I heard it's like, they talked about how like it's very small, and it should be like, you can put it in anywhere in your house. Like, you should be able to put it in your living room, like, or whatever room that you play your games in or something, or maybe where you watch TV at, like your dining room or living room, or wherever you prefer. Like, everybody has their own preferences, so I don't know too much about the PS Vita TV, so they didn't really talk too much about it, but that was just all they really said about the PS Vita, because they had a limited amount of time, so they tried to talk about as many, try to get and show off everything that they could and talk about as much of the features that they wanted to talk about during the live stream. So they didn't really talk too much about the PS Vita TV, since that was already talked about, like I don't know if it was last week or maybe weeks ago, from recent news. In regards to games, they just showed this one title, like this new indie games title by this indie games developer, but not to mention that it didn't have a title or anything like that. It was no title whatsoever. They just showed like gameplay, where the only thing, it looked pretty good, it looked interesting, and it looked fun to play, but one thing that I noticed from this game, that you can create your own home world, your home world or something like that. That's a feature in the game, but I guess the title's in development and they didn't really come up with like an official title, so it's just another PlayStation indie game. So I thought it was gonna be like a title at the end of the after showing like the gameplay on screen on the stage, but unfortunately it didn't have a title, so it just seemed like it was like a game that was not finished yet, but there was just something just a new indie game in development just to show a little bit of gameplay here and there. So I'm pretty sure it's not really fully developed. Next, they talked about the DualShock 4, and they kind of compared the DualShock 4 and the DualShock 3 in comparison. So what the DualShock 4 has on the controller, it has a share button which allows you to upload your games. Like say you stream like a game or something, and maybe you record one of your games like from Killzone Shadowfall, or maybe Call of Duty Ghosts, or whoever or whatever game that you want to stream and record. You can just use that share button to upload your videos to like social networking sites or things like that, like YouTube and maybe like Twitch or something like that. So and they also had something about this light up button. I didn't really get too much information from like this so-called light up button or this little light up feature on the button. It was like a black and blue button. Like I didn't get too much of it because I don't know exactly what that was all about and what the feature is, but I think I missed out on it. But not to mention that the stream was freezing sometimes, so I think that for mine, I was just watching on a laptop, so it was freezing every now and then, so I didn't really get too much information on what the details about the light up button for the PS4, well, the DualShock 4 controller. And moving on, that they talked about like the shorter downloads, that when you don't download a game, you won't have to wait all that time to download. It'll be much more faster, quicker upload speeds and download speeds, whatever you're trying to download for like any kind of game or anything like that. So I guess that's the good news, because for when you download your PS3, it takes a while, so it'll be no more, just less waiting time for that, so that'll be a good thing. They also mentioned this HDM feature, but they said they didn't want to talk about it right then and there because they're going to get into that later on, so I don't know when. I don't know if that's going to be a part of part 2, but when I try to check out the stream and see what they talk about and see what else they show other than that Deep Down game. Real name registration was also mentioned for the feature for the PS4, where you can send your friend, you can send friend requests by using your real name. I personally would not be actually trying to send a friend request to my real friends. Just you send a friend request to a random friend from around the world that you probably will never meet, and I don't really see myself sending like a friend request to anybody like that. So I think it's a pretty cool a good feature, and it's optional. It's not necessarily like a must that you have to use that feature for the real name registration and for the system, but they just thought that it was like the guy was on the stream was like it'll be like the people that you know in real life, like say you go to school with or maybe you work with them or anything like that, they'll be able to know you right off the bat instead of just putting like a silly online name and coming up with like a silly name. They wouldn't know if it's actually you or not, but instead you can just register your real name into the system where your real life friends can recognize you right off the bat. But it's a good thing that it's not just like just a must to do it, but it's just like optional. So, and the next thing they talked about was like the newest thing, the PlayStation camera, which allows you it can be used in games with the face capture and everything when you play, like say you stream your games or anything like that. And it also has a face and voice recognition as well. But they didn't really get too much. They didn't talk too much about the little PlayStation camera features. But again, they were on like a time limit, just like I was saying earlier in the video. But just getting to what I was talking about earlier about the next thing I'm about to talk about is just like the PlayStation app that they showed that I actually like and was pretty unique, and it's pretty actually cool. Like no matter where you are, you can stay connected to the PlayStation world. Like you can be away from your system, maybe not you're away from your console and not trying to check out, maybe see who's online, maybe check your trophies, maybe invites or messages or anything like that. You can check game info, you can check your trophies and your amount of trophies that you have, maybe even some of your other friends, like your friends list trophies, and other people on your friends list and everything like that. You can connect your smartphone to your PS4, and you can also access the PlayStation Network store as well. You can even receive invitations like friend invites. So I don't know what that is. I think that would be like, I wouldn't say like for multiplayer invites, but that's what when they first said that, I was thinking like that. But I'm guessing like those chat invitations for when you want to chat with friends, like voice chat or maybe even video chat. I don't know if you can do that with the PlayStation app, but that's still a good idea. That's a good, a unique feature as well. And that's it for the PlayStation app. But I actually like the PlayStation app because I think I'm going to be using that on my smartphone because just to stay up to date with like the gaming info and just checking out trophies and maybe chat with some friends that are online. And maybe since you're away from your console, maybe they don't want you to get online, but you'll be at, maybe you're somewhere, you're out at the store, maybe you're at a friend's house or something like that, or maybe you're just away from your console and you can't play at the moment. You can just tell one of your friends right then and there that you can't play and that you'll be home at a certain time, and they'll actually know when you're going to show and come online. So regardless of whether you're not on your if you're not playing your console and your console's not booting, you're not online, you can still contact your friends and stay in touch with them, maybe chat with them just to kill time if you're waiting for something and just waiting to come home and just making your way to your console and stuff. So the last but not least, in conclusion for the keynote of Sony's Tokyo Gameshow keynote presentation, they did like a PS Vita remote play on a PS4, which was the game that they played was the NAT game, a NAT demonstration using the PS Vita as a remote. So it was like remote control play that you can play on your PS4. I don't know what other games you can play. I think you can probably play like Killzone, Shadowfall, and some of those other games like Drive Club. I don't know for sure, but they didn't want to show too much. As they said, they didn't want to show too much because they were on a time limit. So they didn't have too much to show. They had a lot to show just with very little time. So the controls with the PS Vita looked just like it worked. Just they were accurate, just very accurate, and it looked really fun. So just like you can just use it if you don't have like a remote, like extra PS4 controller. You can use like your Vita system, like your PS Vita, just as another remote controller, just to play like a PS4 game, just in case. And it was also mentioned that the PS4 can be linked with like the PS Vita, the Vita TV, which I don't know too much about, and they talked very little about, but they mentioned that they already talked about and announced like the details regarding the PS Vita TV, and also it can be connected to like smartphones and tablets as well. So that was it for Sony's Tokyo Gameshow keynote presentation. So the next stream that they're going to show is just like that Deep Down Capcom RPG, which is a PS4 exclusive. I don't know if it's going to be multi-plat or not, but from the looks of it, it's probably looking to be like a PS4 exclusive pretty much. But I want to see what like the gameplay is going to be like, and because I actually like those RPG games, and I got really into those type of games. Because those are my personal favorite type of games to play next to action adventure and maybe a little bit of shooters like Call of Duty and maybe Halo here and there. But that was all they showed, and it wasn't really much that they really talked about. And when I first saw and heard about the stream, because I didn't know that the Tokyo Game Show started today and it's going to be taking place all throughout this all the way till Sunday. I didn't really know exactly when, if it's going to be any kind of new titles or any sort of new games announced and everything, but I know for sure that from a rumor that it's supposed to be like 50 new titles for the PS4. I wouldn't say like mostly exclusive, but I guess you would have like a couple exclusives here and there, and then some multi-platform games and maybe some indie games here and there as well, and a little bit of maybe hopefully some more Vita titles, because I'm still not convinced of trying to get a Vita and why I should probably get a Vita, because I personally think the 3DS is better than the PS Vita, because in regards to the amount of games that you have, like you have a large variety of selection of games that you can choose from, and just the Vita, as good as it is, and what they show from this past other stream, from what they show with the new indie games and everything like that, some of them look good, but I think that some of those other games, like I think they put in like the new Batman Arkham Origins on it on the Vita, and then Borderlands also on the Vita, which is also cool. But most people, I'm pretty sure, probably play Borderlands on the consoles, like whether you play on the Xbox 360 or maybe your PS3. But I still don't have a purpose of buying a Vita, so I don't think that. Hopefully they show some other interesting games and maybe some surprise big hits, or maybe some bombshells like Uncharted 4, just like a little sneak peek or teaser trailer for like Uncharted 4, maybe a Jack and Daxter, some of those other those those little big hit exclusives from PlayStation, those vintage Sony titles like Uncharted, Jack and Daxter. Maybe I already know it's some Ratchet and Clank, but it's just like the newest one is like a current gen. And just for those like those type of titles, I want to see for like this year's Tokyo Game Show. Hopefully they show it, and maybe a little bit of how the online experience is going to be like when you're playing online, and how the friends list will be able to transfer and all that kind of stuff. So that's just how I feel for now. So it's only just they're only just getting started, so they didn't really kind of go yet and hit the stage with all their titles and showing off those little the rumored 50 titles that they have in regards to like Sony and as a whole. So that's pretty much how I feel. So I don't know what you guys thought about the keynote, and what do you guys want to see for like the Tokyo Game Show? What are you guys interested in seeing? What kind of games you want to see, or maybe some bombshells that you might, maybe some wish list, some kind of wish list that you think you guys would like to see for this year's Tokyo Game Show? Because I have a lot. I'm expecting a little bit more from Sony, because I feel like they didn't really deliver as much, and they didn't, even though they didn't want to show as much from the get-go, I think that they should probably drop a little bit more bombshells and probably just bring out some of those great titles, those vintage titles, to keep their systems and make those systems like the better. Just give people a reason why the PS4 is the better system to buy this holiday season over the Xbox One. So that's pretty much how I feel. So that's it for this video. So I'll definitely be covering the rest of the Tokyo Game Show in regards to like the latest updates and news, and maybe some new games, maybe some new update. Hopefully some new news regarding like Nintendo, since Nintendo haven't been really doing anything. They just been, ever since their recent 2DS announcement, which wasn't really a big surprise for me. So it wasn't a big deal to me, and it was just like a disappointment in my opinion. But that's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys for more gameplay, and hope for the best for this year's Tokyo Game Show.